All right, so if you see the title of this video and just want a quick answer so you can go about your day, the answer is yes. So as far as technology goes, if you compare sampling in the 80s or 90s, whatever, to now, yeah, it's way easier to sample now. Whereas back in the day, you needed a device like an ASR10 or an MPC to translate music into chops, versus now where I could buy a whatever boo-boo computer and your favorite DAW and have at it with samples. Ableton even has its own kind of slicer. You really just need a DAW and a sample to chop to, make some music. And even with the process of curating the samples that you're gonna chop, you used to have to go to a record store, dig through records, or buy a whole bunch of records and hope that one of them had something cool to sample. But now you have YouTube, you have platforms like Tracklib, you have actual sample makers who all they do is make royalty-free kind of samples when you pay them the upfront cost. So it's so much easier to find something to sample that you want to make and create in that vibe. But not even thinking with the gear that you would need or the actual curation of the records that is easier to do now. The actual process of sampling is very easy and straightforward. There are many videos from really great YouTubers that are breaking down the process of sampling into some sort of formula, whether that be chopping on the drums, chopping every downbeat within a sample, interpolation, the art of looping, low-end theory, micro chopping that Dilla popularized. But there is a reason why sampling is still an art form and is not a part of STEM, science, technology, and all that stuff. If it was, I guess it would be STEM, STEM. So in this video, I'm gonna make a case that yes, sampling, the process is easy. I think anyone can do it. It's very approachable. There's still layers to a very intricate, interesting sample and a more straightforward kind of form of sampling. So I saw a video not too long ago from another YouTuber, L Train Loop Kitchen, who goes through the process that Tribe Called Quest did in a lot of their music to layer a drum break, layer these melodic elements along with the main sample that they're using. And it made for a really cool, interesting concept for a song, because you hear all of these things that sound familiar, and having them all together in one song is just very alluring or very eye-catching or ear-catching, I guess, in this case. And as sampling has gotten more approachable and the barrier entry has decreased, you can say that that may be a lost form of sampling because it was done almost by necessity in the past, whereas now you have so many options to choose your drums and your sample, and things feel full already. So when you're trying to cut out elements and build a song, there's not much room for you to add in your own thumbprint or your own DNA into the song, right? The other part of sampling that people don't realize is important to the art, maybe this goes into layering as well. I think the world building that is done in sampling is an important factor that separates yourself from just any other producer that's out there. Some people who are really good at this were MF Doom and Wu-Tang. Doom pulled a lot from cartoons and, the Dr. Doom, Marvel episodes, and put a lot of those snippets into his albums. And of course, all of Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, and a lot of their music pulls inspiration from old Kung Fu and, Shaolin fighting movies. If you listen to their music, there may be some songs that are just straightforward loops, but adding in those world building elements like snippets from interviews or snippets from movies and cartoons, it really brings up your production to a whole nother level and can separate yourself again from another producer who's doing the same thing. And finally, the last thing I'll talk about is the process of chopping up unconventional samples. A lot of people, when they start sampling, myself included, went to reach for 70s soul, and I still do. I'm not saying that I can't touch that era of music anymore. If you really want to challenge hip hop, testing your skills by sampling an unconventional genre of music. Take Ninth Wonder, for example. It was a really instrumental video for myself, and I know for a lot of other producers, watching Ninth Wonder chop up, I think it's a country record, into a classic Ninth Wonder beat, right? A lot of people would hear it and they'd get intimidated and they feel like that, oh, I can't chop this, it's not going to give me a good end product. But pulling from non-standard genres when making hip hop or when making any music, when you're sampling, can really test your skills as an artist, challenging traditional styles of whatever genre that you're making. So in summary, I've learned a lot when I'm working with artists in sessions that good music really should be easy to make. You shouldn't have to be trying too hard in order to get the final product that you're looking for. You can still challenge ideas and challenge the sound that you're looking to achieve by taking risk. And this isn't to say that if you take a loop and it sounds good and the artist likes it, that you can't do that either. I think when you're in a flow state and you've put in the hours to specialize in a certain craft, when something is good and when something doesn't feel complete. I've felt it plenty of times. When you're making music, sometimes you don't really feel in control. You feel like there's someone else controlling what you're doing or the sample or how you chop it up. And there's no question that, hey, this is all that the song needs and that's all I'm gonna do to it. Whatever you do with the options that you have, that's what really sets you apart from any other producer or sample maker or artist in general. So keep making good art. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.